Hello everyone, welcome back to the Women's Podcast on audio and of course on YouTube. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm driving.
Hold on.
What?
Yes, to monetization.
Yes, we are fully monetized on NFTV Extra. Been partially monetized. You wouldn't have known that. We've grafted hard, but nice little reward that we've got 3 channels now monetized. The Football is Live and NFTV and NFTV Extra.
Massive.
We've got little Ferdinand doing here as well. You might see his little head occasionally. But welcome to the pod. Now we're going to talk about the awards, official awards, a little bit of controversy around them as well, and of course the Who Am I. And poor Joe didn't get the Who Am I last week. That was disappointing, wasn't it?
I think I've only got one all season, to be fair, like me.
I hope you get this one. Because you might get another DM. Oh, you might not. We'll see. We shall see. Right, clue 1. We're going to kick straight off with the Who Am I. Straightforward. I really do interviews. That's it. Clue 1, I rarely do interviews. Now remember, these Who Am I's could be a current footballer, an ex-footballer, coaching staff. It could be a famous person who watches the women. It could be a fan that you know, or it could be a commentator. It could be anyone basically associated with NUFC women. But there you go. Clue 1, I rarely do interviews. That's it. There's your clue 1. Right, so we're going to talk about the awards, and I've got all my notes on my phone. Or phones rather. But yeah, we're going to crack on with it, and then we want to know what your thoughts on this as well. But the NUFC community controversy, shall we say, with this as well. So the first one being, I personally reached out to, now I haven't got the time to run an official supporters club. I've got too much eggs and all in one NFTV and the socials and YouTube, whatever. But I thought the idea of the club reaching out and having supporters club tour was a great thing for people in Japan, Australia, yada, 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 yada.
Yep.
And I thought, you know what, I'm going to put the club, the Newcastle United women, forward to be an official supporters club, to have their own, and then obviously have liaison with the club and what have you. But it's been rejected. They're not looking at this time. I cannot lie, I was massively disappointed in that news.
It's for me, it's infuriating. One thing the women's football needs at the moment, as a whole, not just for Newcastle, as a whole, is exposure, it's access, it's being able to discuss things with your fellow community, like you say, people in Japan, Australia, America. We know Jay from Atlanta, he follows the women as well, and all of his information comes from us. It shouldn't be that way. And one thing, if a business is starting up, the one thing a business needs is that exposure. Why would you reject something like this? We're not in that area yet. The reasoning and everything was just, for me, it was a shoot yourself in your foot moment.
Yeah, because it's not a location. I know the club are going to announce what the official supporters clubs will be, but the women have nothing.
No.
Nothing. And it's like, you can't really have a official supporters club from Wales End. Or from because it's more of a wider community, not normally, I would say. So you might get NUFC Ireland, you might get NUFC France, Germany, or loads of cities. I know loads of cities in the States, like there's a Toon Army New York one.
Yeah.
There's a Chicago, there's loads, I can go on and on and on. But for the women not to be recognised was a massive disappointment. Look, and I don't think it's actually come directly from the women's side. I think it's come from unfortunately the club, as in Newcastle United, not the women's part. Because they've said they haven't said no, but they said not at this time, which is a no, really, let's be honest.
It is.
And for the club not to go at the club when they have concerns is a little bit disappointing, because that tells me that they're keeping the women as a separate identity still. Yes, they've done massive work and congratulations, and it's brilliant that there's more staff involved and they're getting bigger on and off the pitch. But that's a bit of a kick in the teeth. And look, I've got the time to run it. It'll have to be somebody else. But just to be rejected, it was like, there's still that gap there, isn't there? There's a bridge to gap.
It's disheartening. You want that connection. You want the club to directly. I know you've got other groups and such who are out there, and well done to them and all the work that they do. But for me personally, it's looking at the fact that you want something officially linked to the club, where the club can hand over, and we're not just talking money here, they can hand over resources. Oh, there's this women's club. Okay, well, how about we give you the VIP area in Kingston Park for this, before this weekend's game, to hold a fan forum, to hold a meet and greet, to hold these different things,
like ticket issues or
ticketing issues.
Because we see it all the time on the women's group.
Always.
How do I park? How do I get a ticket?
Great, Cozy and Angela. I feel for you. You have done amazing work the last couple of years, but I think it's something like that where the club should maybe look at Cozy and Angela and go,
Yeah,
do you just want to run something?
Yeah, but that's where the officials club can come in. Look, and they have used other groups as well to run things like coaches and buses,
Yep.
which is fantastic. And that might still continue for the next season, the season after, and the season after. But for the Lasses not to be recognised by the club to have an official supporters group was very, very disappointing because, go on.
Would it be too harsh to put the word in it's disrespectful to the women's sport?
Yeah, it is. There's still that bridge to gap. And yes, Newcastle United have done a lot of stuff, but that's still a step back for me. It's still, and what can be done to push that? Well, have them recognised.
Yes.
So that's really disappointing. That's what I want to get off my chest very, very early on for that. And that's not just the only controversy that's coming, by the way.
Oh, no, it's not.
Look, we're very close allies to NUFC women, but we'll praise and we'll criticise when it's right and fair to do it right. But there we're gone. I'm going to go to clue 2 straight away, get it in early.
Love that.
So, clue 1, who am I? I rarely do interviews. There's your clue 1. Clue 2, this might be a bit of a curveball. I am not involved in a professional capacity. Now, what does that mean? Well, more shall come later. So, clue 1, I rarely do interviews. And clue 2, I'm not involved in a professional capacity.
You've just literally, this is what I hate about clue 2. Clue 2 is the clue I hate. It's wiped out all of my guesses instantly because these are all professional capacities. So, like, I'm like, oh my God. That is,
yeah, it could be someone who's no longer in a professional capacity. It could be a trick question, who knows? It could be someone, I'm not going to give any more clues away. Am I trying to throw a curveball? Hell yes, I am. Yes, I am. And Ferdinand's just let one go again.
Yeah.
Right, we can smell him.
It's over by late this time. I'll appreciate that. Lovely.
Let's talk about official successes. Becca Langley, Manager of the Month, towards the end of the season.
Love it.
What a great end of the season, considering there was a point where, right, we're not going to go up. How high can we finish? And I think, has that had any influences, or is it the fact that we've been quite lucky and had Blackburn twice?
I think having Blackburn twice in the end, you have to add that in as a factor. Yes, obviously no offence to Blackburn, you are a wonderful team, but there's that division of we're a cut above Blackburn. This is what happens. This is what happens in football. I think though what it is, it's a testament to what Becky's been doing this season. I know throughout the season there's been a lot of back and forth about Becky's making the wrong choices. Becky's doing this. We're not managing games, and I know there's room to give evidence on that and say, look, we didn't manage that game right, so we didn't see it out, and Charlton 3-3 rings a bell. Yeah. You know, we're up and we should have really seen that game out. But then you look at the back end of the season, and especially this past month or so, and I think the games have been managed very well. Even that London City Lionesses loss, that's not a loss that hurts. Pride. It's not. It's like, do you know what? They were the better team on the day. Our tactics were right, and we were the more dominant team on the day. They just capitalised on their chances. The game management's got better. Who's that down to? The manager. And I think that's a testament mostly to what it was, that by the end of this season, Becky's went, okay, I'm ready for next season. Let's do this. And she's been rewarded by being nominated for Manager of the Month.
No, she won it.
She won it. Yeah, she won, getting that Manager of the Month, and it's deserved. She has done brilliant to learn this season, and it's something that, for me, if you were going to describe one word for Becky Langley's legacy, for me, it's growth. She has grown so well, and she still continues to right now. And you've got to remember, she's quite young for a manager.
Just turned 30. Happy birthday.
Exactly. I'm older than Becky. Like, I couldn't manage a team.
Don't look at me. I'm not saying, yes, I am, before you ask.
Granda.
Not quite. That doesn't mean to say my daughter's pregnant.
It's not.
But yes, well done, Becky, and a fantastic end of the season. But Manager of the Month, brilliant. And stop apologising off camera to her. About Please. Yeah,
otherwise I'll tell you off again.
You know what one about. Right, I'm going to put inverted commas for the people that are listening on the audio. Fans Player of the Year went to Deanna Cooper, and this is the club's, again, inverted commas, Fans Player of the Year. Now, I was asked, I don't know how many other people were asked, who would be my player of the season. I didn't pick Deanna Cooper won it. I didn't pick Deanna. But I don't know if that was towards that fans or if it's part of the players' media. I couldn't tell you. But I was asked. I don't know many others. Jeff, I don't know any others. I don't know if this was me. It can't just be me, but surely not. I don't get it because the fans weren't asked. And that's a massive gripe on social media at the minute.
Look, no disrespect to, obviously, you, Lee, no disrespect to Jeff King, no disrespect to anyone who's asked, but essentially, yes, at the core of us, we are fans. Yep. Yes. However, to only ask us, it's wrong. I said this last season. We weren't as vocal about it last season because we hoped it would change. And this season, the exact same things happened. I, last season, ran a poll on the women's group before the award came out. And Charlotte Potts won last season. And Olivia Watt was given it. Now, both times, I will say, Olivia Watt and Deanna Cooper would be in the conversation. Yeah, there would be a shout. There would be a nominee, you know. But to just pick them and take a handful of opinions, I can't.
I mean, it's what if
has really, more than 30 people been asked? If so, that's not fair.
I think this is the problem I had last year because Liv Watt shouldn't have won it.
Yeah, agreed. The fans had picked Charlotte Potts.
The season ticket holders should have the right to go on the website, pick out of a list of a short list 5 players. Bang! There's my player of the season.
Do you know what baffles me? They announced Deanna Cooper as fans' player of the season. And in the same 24 hours, they also announced that Shaya Heels is up for Player of the Season in the Barclays Women's Championship.
Ironic.
And how do you vote for the Shaya Heels one?
Ironic.
By going onto an actual forum and putting your vote in for Shaya Heels, and then that makes her a fans' Player of the Season for the Barclays Championship. Overall, over all of the teams in the league. Yet in the same 24 hours, they've somehow turned around and went, this is the fans' player of the season, but we've only asked a limited number of people. We don't know if that's 20, we don't know if that's 30, we don't know if it's 2. And they've just turned around and went, we don't care about Lee, we care about Jeff. But that's probably not the case, by the way. I'm just jesting there.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares. But for me, it's that thing if you've got to go and ask the fans, and they have a ready-made option that was made by the fans. We have a Newcastle United women's group.
Do you know what we were talking about right at the top of the show? The official club supporters.
There's another one.
There's another one that you can ask the supporters inside of there.
I think it's a massive, and look, I said this in the
There's
last
a couple of own goals, isn't there?
It is. This is something where you need to be approaching the fans more. Otherwise, you are going to create a divide between the club, the fans, and no doubt eventually there's going to be a whole disagreement going on with the fans in amongst themselves. Well, I think this is good. I think this is good. I think this should be happening. I agree with Deanna. I don't agree with Deanna. That should be a debate that's happening amongst themselves, not because the club have turned around and went. It's almost like having a despot in control. You know what I mean? This is what I am choosing. Yous all have to agree, and it's your choice, even though I've chose it. It's wrong.
It's wrong. It's not the first time we have small grievances ourselves for not having more access. We might make a video about that. We don't want to upset too many people, but as I say, we are fans first.
Yeah.
And then we'll critique where we think it's right. And there's a couple of own goals there for me already in this pod, and I hope there's not many more. Yes, they are learning. They've come a long way, but little things can add to big things, I'll say. But Deanna Cooper, congratulations anyway.
Oh yeah.
You were picked as inverted commas fans player of the year, but Beth Lumsden, she's been picked by her fellow players as the best player, and we did a video just a few days ago with Joe presented about our pick, and she was more or less our pick.
Yeah.
But to be recognised by your fellow professionals is a bit of a buzz, isn't it?
Oh, it must be. I mean, like, you look at the talent of that team, and even and this is not in a disrespectful way, football players need ego, but you look at the ego in our team. Shaya Heels, Jazz McQuaid, there's more names we can put on that list who have got an ego, and rightfully so. They should have it. I've got an ego, rightfully so. People should have it. But for me, you look at that and Beth to be chosen, it must be a massive bit of pride, and she's now got to look around all her other players, and she's probably sat there like naming 3 other people who are better than her, and they're all telling her she's the best. They love her, they respect what she's done, they enjoy what she's done this season. It's massively well deserved for Beth, and I hope it's just another testament to why the Mackem Slayer stays the Mackem Slayer.
Yeah, more goals next season, please, Beth, against Mackem's. Knee pressure.
Lovely.
Knee pressure, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. Stand-up performances, worldy goals, left foot, right foot, corners, free kicks, you name it. And Shaya Heels picked up the top goal scorer award. We kind of touched upon it again a few days ago. Incredible. It's a couple of hat-tricks, bursts of pace. Remember, she started left wing. She's got a great record in the championship before she joined us, but what can you say about her? Let's let one go.
I know
out
what I
again,
can say about Ferdinand. What can I say about Shaya Heels? Look, what a
she doesn't smell as bad as him.
yeah, she definitely doesn't smell as bad as him. Meeting Shania a couple of weeks ago as well, with my daughter, which thank you to the club for allowing me to come and meet all the players.
Yeah, something that the club have done really well.
Really
More
well.
of it.
This is what baffles me about these situations, right? No, I'm not going to go rant. We've just ranted Shania Heels, good things about Shania Heels. Look, it's that whole thing of, like, we said it in the last one a couple of days ago, Lee. You look at a player, and if you turn around and go, yeah, I can guarantee I'm going to bring a striker in who scores 15 goals in the season for you, you're going to go, have her, please. And we've got her. And I know there's some criticisms about her. I know it's a bit like she's a little bit quiet at times. She doesn't arrive at the right times. You know, she maybe doesn't get into the box quick enough. But regardless, as a striker, your job is to put the ball over the line, and she does that very, very well. She does that incredibly well. She is a legend at doing that, and she is a massive reason why we have finished as high as we have this season. And I think people need to recognise that if someone isn't able to do their job in the role they are, they need to be recognised and moved on. Shania Heels is doing her job, and she needs to be praised massively, and we need to keep a hold of her because she has more to come. I believe when people talk about her being quiet, but he's not having the best ball control, what do you think she's working on? She'll be working on those things, she'll be making them better, and she is going to become an amazing striker. Thank you very much, Shania Heels. I got very passionate there, wow.
Let's clip that up and get that on TikTok. And the next one, a woman who we both love and have a bit of banter with. She's not a player, but it is Sue Cumming, who's been rightfully... Sue!
Love Sue.
She has been nominated for Club Hero of the Ward, and this is something that me and Joe will massively back. She is looking... the club are looking at bringing in a potential director of football to help her, but go on.
Do you want to get the beep ready? Sue Cummins has been recognised as that. It's about fucking time.
Yeah, she is absolutely... When we see her, I mean, we'll stand and have a chat and we'll have a bit of a crack on. She's always in good spirits and all that. Oh, you been to the game, Lee? And she said, oh, I've lost a lot of weight recently and all this sort of stuff, and we had a good chat and that. Lovely woman. Yes, she's the head of the women's football at the club, but you would just think that she's you gotta kill me with this. You might just think that she's like your granny. And that's just going to kill me for saying that, and she is. Auntie.
You would think Sue's like your sister, you know what I mean? I know, I'd like my older sister, a couple of years older.
How old's your mum?
Like I said, a joke, I shouldn't online there, but you know. Sue, you've nailed it. You've encapsulated what she is. She's joy, she's pride. Joy and pride, they're two things that when Sue Cummins walks into a room, that's all I see. Massive smile on her face. Oh, hello. And she's just, I love her to bits. Honestly, Sue is one of the best things to happen to Newcastle as a whole. Sue Cummins is amazing. Absolutely love the wife to bits. Really do. I would happily adopt her as my auntie. All day long.
We'll see Auntie, not
Auntie Sue.
I will not take her. She's got to kill us now because she just watches with stuff.
Yeah, she is.
Sorry, Sue. But no, that's absolutely incredible. And obviously Becky goes to try to whinge, to twist, to get stuff off her chest. And Sue's there to support Becky as much as she can. And she does a fantastic job. Not just that, but she's got like employing people left, right and centre. The team is growing and bigger off the pitch. Every week there's someone new. And Sue was telling me a few months ago, oh, we've hired this person, we've hired that person. Now we've got a new media guy, Sam. Welcome, Sam. There's
something I want to bring up that Sue's done brilliantly. So there was a fan forum a couple of months ago.
Yes.
And Sue ran that. And Sue said to the fans there was a fair few men in attendance, Jamie Gallant's one of them. And Sue said to them, we are working on this, we are working on that, we will look at that, we will look at that. Within 3 weeks, maybe 2, but within 3 weeks I'm going to say, them changes were brought. I will put that massively down to Sue Cummins.
Yeah, and I think that also comes down to if they had an official supporters club again, because they can go to Sue and say, right, we're going to represent whatever XY amount of fans. Yeah, but going back to Sue, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Love her pieces, and yeah, we'll look forward to summer because we'll have some signings, so please, that'll be lovely. And I think we will. The last clue, and then we'll talk a little bit about the retained list that might be very, very close to being announced, put it that way. Clue, well, I'll run through the clues. Clue 1 is I rarely do interviews. There's your clue 1. Clue 2, I am not involved in a professional capacity. And then clue 3, I am loud I am proud, and I make plenty of sound. So I'll run you through those clues again because there are a little few curveballs. I rarely do interviews. I'm not involved in a professional capacity. I am loud, I am proud, and I make plenty of sound. So there you go. There is your 3 clues.
I think I've got it based on not any of your clues, but actually based on your third clue and something you've said at the start.
Yeah, so there you go. So I really do interviews. I'm not involved in a professional capacity. I'm loud, I'm proud, and I make plenty of sound. So we'll come back and reveal that towards the end, but just a little bit on the retain list at this time of recording, because this is going out. Oh, he's done it again.
Thanks, Ferdinand.
Be them onion rings. At the time of this recording, we know 4 official players who have announced that they are departing. Obviously, Grace Donnelly is one of them.
Yep.
Rachel Furness is another.
Yep.
Izzy Sibley is another,
Yep.
and Amy Andrews as well. There will be potentially a few more that we know, but because we've got a good relationship with some players and team, we don't want to reveal or speculate on what we will say. But just on those 4 players.
Them 4 players, 2 of them are, 3 of them are officially confirmed via themselves, and then Amy Andrews herself. I mean, you look at a post that she's put out, it's a goodbye.
No, it's official, isn't it? Because all the players have replied back saying
they have,
great to work with you and
thank
good
you.
luck and all that.
It's look, you don't want to see. I've said it already on a video I put out with Dale not long ago that I think this season could end up hurting more than last season, which is a lot for me to say because everyone knows how much I appreciated Naomi Bedore and how much I appreciated Anna Soulsby, and seeing them go, it hurt. And I think this season could hurt a bit more. And wow, seeing Fernie go, I just didn't expect that. I know there's a lot to that. You know, she could coach, she could want to continue to play so she can play for Northern Ireland. Great. I hope whatever she does, she makes it the right choice for her heart, because she has put so much into not just Newcastle. And a lot of people look at her and go, oh, she's one of her own and she's been amazing. Fernie has been one of the biggest credits to women's football and women's sport as a whole for a lot of years. Grace going, obviously it's very sad, you can understand it though. I hope Grace goes on to do whatever she can do, playing more, and eventually come back to Newcastle. I would love to see Grace back here as a coach because I think she'd be brilliant. Sibley, season long loan, we'll understand. It was probably
we were sat here in Christmas, weren't we? And I said, no, she'll not be here next season.
Yeah, and you were right. I would love to see Sibley stay, but look, you don't know. Palace are coming back down into the Championship. Yeah. Can you really let a player like Isabel Sibley go? Is that the reason they've loaned her? Because we want to keep her, but if we stay in the Super League, we don't need her. Right, we're coming back to the Championship, we need to retain that player. She's Championship quality. She's an impact substitution. Well done to her. And then Amy Andrews, I think, look, I will be
lovely heart, lovely soul.
Amazing, good soul. That lass is, I've been speaking to her a lot recently, and she is honestly phenomenal as a person. For me, as a centre forward, she doesn't quite hit the bill yet, and I think there is.
Is that why she's playing on the wing more?
I think so, and I think with her leaving, I would personally think that she is going to go and get more time as a centre forward, or find her place of where she needs to be on the pitch, which I think is in a forward position without doubt for Amy Andrews. I think she's a forward because that pace, you cannot knock that. If you want to talk about negatives about her, I could do that, but I'm going to talk about positives. A pace, a presence. She is great at what she does, but she hasn't quite got the finishing ability to be classed as a striker yet. Not a primary striker, secondary maybe. For me, she's more of a winger, she's more of a playmaker. Can she attain that role somewhere else and come back to Newcastle as a world-class playmaker? I believe so. I do believe so. But it's regardless them 4 already. How many more is there going to be? I think there could be another good 5 or 6.
Well, we know 1 or 2, didn't we? But we can't really announce that. But I'm going to be a bit nasty here. Because I've got to ask the question, being presenter. Are any of them 4 any good enough to take Newcastle at the next level?
No.
There's your answer. And I think it's only because of age, because of Fernie, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
And I think if Fernie's 27, she stays.
Yep.
100%. I think the rest of those girls are not the next to get weighted in the WSL, unfortunately. I don't think that those are. That's not. It's just reality, unfortunately. Grace isn't getting any time. Amy's in and out the side. Sibley's been more or less second fiddle since the second half of the season, and Fernie's just age. That's all it's out. I think I would love to keep Fernie for another year, actually, personally. But
oh God, yes.
And obviously the relationships he talked about. we're pally with Fernie, pally with Amy now, and Amy sent some lovely messages throughout the year, thanking me, going all the way to Portsmouth, obviously reaching out to you, to me, to you, the same thing, and now you're messaging.
Yep.
And obviously Grace, we've had a lot of crack down the air, a lot of banter. Wish them all good luck.
I did message Grace, and I want to say this on camera. I'm pretty certain Grace won't mind this, but I figured out the reason why Grace is leaving.
Go on then.
It's so Emma Kelly can never get her back for hitting Emma Kelly on the head with a snowball and everything else. That's why she's leaving, so Emma Kelly never gets her back.
On camera.
I'm telling you.
On camera.
It's on camera. Watch. It's Emma Kelly's fault.
And it's a sad thing because there will be, by the time this video goes out, there might be one or two that might be confirmed, but obviously I'll put it on the graphic at the bottom if it has by the time this goes out. But right then, so let's go through those clues one more time then. So the clue 1 is, I'll try and do it off the top of my head, I rarely do interviews. And then clue 2, I'm not in any official capacity. And then clue 3 is, I'm loud, I am proud, and I make plenty of sound. Come on, you should get this.
I'm questioning it now because of the professional capacity, because technically she is in a professional capacity. I've got 2 guesses there. One is professional and one's not.
Not in a professional capacity.
So I'm going to go with the one who isn't. It's not Bernie, is it?
It's Bernie? Yes, you've got one. It's our Burn star. It's Bernie's clique. It's Bernie's crew. It's War Bernadette. Oh, she'll kill me for saying that.
Ooh.
That's a posh word, you know.
Bernie. I'll drown this in a glass of afterwards, right, dear Murray? Bernadette.
Woo! That's when she has to be all posh.
I'm Bernadette.
But yes, it is Bernie. If you don't know Bernie, why are you watching this video? Put it that way.
It's like that guy, remember that clip? What's your name? I'm Bernie. Everyone knows me.
I'm trying to pipe in the hand.
Everyone knows me.
It was like she was actually what's the word I'm looking for? She was offended.
She was offended.
She was offended.
I would have been if I was here as well.
Damn,
as Bernie.
Do you want a glass here? But it is Bernie. So yes, I've been thinking of Bernie. That sounds so wrong, right?
I think of Bernie all the time, mate. I think of Bernie banging a drum all the time.
Dave makes them comments all the time.
Sorry, Dawn.
Right, yes, Dawn. Love you, Dawn.
How you cope, Dawn? Honestly, how you cope and you've married that woman, I do not know. But people could probably ask the same about Amanda as well. So you know.
Wait, you're married?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I shouldn't say yet. Sorry, don't go ahead of ourselves.
Trip to Paris is coming. Right, we shall love yous and leave yous. We've got more coming, by the way. Even more. We've got scoring the players. We're going to do a keep, sell, and loan when the retain list makes official, and we're going to do a review on all 4 of us all together. That's a mammoth video. But there we go, everyone. From the corner house, from me and Joe. Cheers, and we'll catch us very soon.